Hi, and welcome to our video. If you're new here, my name is Roger, and I'm here with Tagg, and our channel focuses on affordable housing solutions for everyday people.
Hi, I'm Tagg, and I'm here to let you know with a little elbow grease and a big vision, your dream home is totally within reach. Bring the creativity with a little work, and before you know it, you'll be kicking back in a place that's truly yours. Your dream home isn't just a wish, it's a DIY away.
Move on.
Yay. Okay, then. So for today's video, we're in a town called Box Springs, Georgia. The address, for those that want to follow along, is 595 Setter Drive. And again, located in Box Springs, Georgia. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a 1,456 square foot home. And here's the sweet part. 4.49 acre lot. How cool is that? It's listed for sale for $49,900, and just about anywhere else, I would think that's called $50,000 or just under $50,000. Anyway, it's a single family home. It was built in 1991, and we're looking at it on the Realtor.com website. I think they've got something like 20 pictures, 19 pictures. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over here to my co-host Tagg so we can review this home.
Great. And what a nice side view of this home. Boy, that is a side photograph. It looks like it is lush with vegetation. And for Box Springs, Georgia, the planting zone hardiness is an 8B. You have about 15 to 20 Fahrenheit in garden hardiness. So moving on. Oh, wow. Okay. So I like to start with the kitchen. I'm going to jump over to that part. And it looks like we have 3 photos here. So I like the structure of the kitchen so far. For some reason, I really enjoy having this back part of the where the wall meets together and having space behind it. So the sink isn't directly under the window, but you have extra counter space in the back for equipment you don't use on a regular basis. For instance, I have a huge mixing bowl that is so heavy that hits in the that sits in the smallest part of the counter space, and I have to pull it out every time. It would be nice to just be able to have it up there all the time. So when I look at the kitchen, I'm looking at, okay, I have this utensil, that utensil, this machine, that machine, looking for a place for it to stay put. So here on the side here, you have a pantry, which, you know, every kitchen needs a pantry, but I would definitely just redesign this pantry here to be a little bit more open so it's easy accessible and things are not sitting so far back, but they're actually kind of spread out. And moving on, we have another side of the kitchen here. And I like the fact that it has 2 windows. That's always a plus. It looks like it's an eat-in kitchen, but you know, I would modernize this. I don't see anything that I would want to salvage in here, including the popcorn ceiling. I would repurpose these top cabinets simply because they look like they're in decent shape. So here's another side view. Depending on what's on this other wall, I may want to open this wall up or at least create a large opening put a kitchen island here or another row of cabinets. I might even take that pantry out and just create a built-in shelving along that wall. Roger, is there anything you would like to add to this kitchen before we move on?
Okay. Yes. I'm dying to talk here. I wanted to say, who are you and what have you done with Tagg? Because when you were talking about that space behind the sink, I was expecting herb this and plant that, you know, that you're going to just fill that space with all the different herbs that you're going to be growing. And instead, I'm hearing some big, heavy mixing bowl. I'm like, anyway, I've got to gut this. I mean, maybe those cabinets, upper cabinets, could be repurposed somewhere. I kind of like the idea you're saying about doing away with the pantry. If you can find a way to, you know, provide a pantry space elsewhere on that back wall. But yeah, redo on the ceiling because you know, that's my one of my two hated ceilings, popcorn and suspended. But there's no saving that stove, near as I can tell, or the vent hood above it, or I think no, just those two and the dishwasher. I mean, what I can see of the dishwasher that they have here just throws off red flags and make me think I don't want to take my dishes out of there, put them in my cupboards and serve them, you know, on my table, because I'm not sure if we're going to get a sanitary result with something that looks like that. So that's me. Maybe the refrigerator can be repurposed, but I don't like a refrigerator that's so deep it's blocking part of the entryway that it's next to, or the walk-through. It's more apparent in this next photo. Drop down one more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the refrigerator is doing that to the opening for the kitchen there. I mean, it's not the only opening. It's not a, you know, deal killer kind of thing. But I just don't like that. I want more in my kitchen.
Yeah, you can really take somebody out opening up that refrigerator door, just stop them dead in their tracks.
It could be a good way to annoy the heck out of somebody if you know they're coming and just swing open that door on the right.
Yeah.
But anyway, you need all your bottom base cabinets in this kitchen. And you need to replace the uppers as well. It's just that, you know, the base cabinets, when they come out straight to the dumpster, when the uppers come out, maybe they can get reused, repurposed. You just have to take it on a case-by-case basis. But new appliances, new cabinets, that's not an insignificant amount, just because things aren't cheap these days.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I got to say about the kitchen. I'll turn it back to you rather, and let you take us away.
Okay. All right. Moving over to the bathroom. I don't have any words other than
I got something.
Go ahead, because all I see is demo.
Yeah. When is the last time? When did we say this house was built? In in 91. So it's just a little over between 30 and 35 years old. I'm counting a one color sink, one color tub, and a third color toilet. Now, I'm holding up this many fingers. I don't know why. But, and, you know, that countertop, a fourth color. You know, when in the world have you ever seen? Because, you know, it's like I don't know, it's not a law per se, but generally when a house is built, all three of those things have the same color. It's just weird to see three different ones there. Anyway, so that's what was trying to come out of me when you said you had no words. Well, I got words. I'll tell you right now. But anyway, yeah, you got to gut this. It's all got to come out and just start, you know, make your canvas, clear your canvas and start fresh. And that's what I can say about that.
Yes. Well, way back when, I don't want to date myself here, but trends were definitely slower. It took more than about a decade for changes to happen, especially when it came to decor, because products were not fiberglass. It was actually um, decent raw material. So I can see a lot of the 70 color, or I'm sorry, the late 80s color.
Take a look at this next bathroom photo, since it shows there's two. And have we seen the second one yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God. Okay, so it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So this is the second bathroom. So they got started doing a renovation to it, and
Mhm.
didn't get a chance to finish it. That's a shame.
Yeah, I think their eyes were a little bit bigger than their stomach.
I don't know, but that tub's coming out, and so it's a toilet, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. The tub is it's too big for this. You're not going to have any room.
I'm not. You know what bothers me about it more than that,
Mm.
Tagg, is it's not long enough, and you've got like at least, it looks like 10 inches at the where it ends, and there's then that much wall.
Yeah.
They bought too small of a tub. They should have got a longer one. You can not so much stretch out in, but you want to be able to soak in a tub. You don't want your knees up to your chest. I hate that about modern tubs. Anyway,
yes,
so
that's what I was commenting on, is that this whole thing, it's too big for the room, and yet the tub is too small. It looks like a dog tub to me. That's I would be keeping it for outdoors, but anyway, we're just going to move on. We're not going to beat this to death here. So
can I say one more thought before we go away?
Yes.
For our viewers, what we're looking at is a bathroom that they've put what's called green rock. It's, if you're not familiar, it's just a more water resistant form of drywall. But I learned after I put green rock on one of the bathrooms that Tagg and I renovated, and it turns out around the tub itself, you really should not. I found out after we did it, so I always felt guilty about it. But what you want to use instead on the walls around the tub is hardy board. It's like a cement style board. It's much more water resistant or waterproof than this green drywall, green board. Anyway, just want to make that comment, just so that hopefully that's something people can take away from this if they weren't already aware. Anyway, go ahead with where you're going, and I'll leave you.
Okay.
Leave it to you.
Moving over to, I'm going to make it the living room. There's only one. Okay. So, all right. We can tell that there is the kitchen on the other side. The fireplace, I am not really too sure about. The picture is kind of dark. But if it's in good condition, I would try to make it work. So around the windows, I would do a built-in bookcase. Fill up.
Good call.
Yes, and you can do, you don't have to go to IKEA or anything like that in order to get a book into or shelving to go around a window. What I would do is just go to Home Depot or Lowe's, Lumberyard, or wherever, and get them the raw materials and make it so. Something about having an even wall, to me, I just like it. Simply because it's easier to decorate. And you can also create a whole accent wall out of this wall here with no paint. So I would do a bookcase around the window, displaying the windows. I wouldn't want to cover them. And this is a perfect space for books, CDs, things that are small. that's not going to take up much room. And you can just make this this whole wall flush with a fireplace. And I would definitely change the color. I mean, it's obvious of the walls. I would lighten it up because this is a really dark room to me. The floor looks like it's natural wood, so I would preserve that, and I would definitely get rid of this carpet. But this area I would probably want to open it up just so it is an open kitchen, or create a whole pantry on the other side of this wall with counter spaces. Once you're in the home, you can see how large it is because we do not have a floor plan to go by to see what we're working with here. And of course, you can find some reasonable light fixtures at Home Depot, Lowe's, IKEA, some LEDs so you can save on that electric bill. Roger, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you have done a good job of breaking out this living room. The only comment that I do want to add to it is something's going on in that ceiling. If you look to the right, up at the top of the photo, and then look to the left, the photo itself is not framed in such a way that they're like square or aligned. And I'm not talking about, the roof being a different, I guess, I'm seeing something there that I don't expect to see on the ceiling. It almost looks like trim, like part of the wall has been, there's a portion of it that's different than the rest of the ceiling. I'm having a hard time putting it in words. And I would have to know why, me. So, if it's legit, then just, make it look right, because this looks like it got part way done and then part of it on the left side was removed, perhaps to access wiring or something like that. I just have to make it right. So that'd be part of my popcorn ceiling removal plan anyway. So that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, back to you.
So I do have a question here. How would you get this off? Is this attached to something, this trim up here? What kind of tool would it take to get this down?
I think you'd start with a pry bar, something that's thin and wide. You want to avoid putting dents into the ceiling itself, especially with you taking down the popcorn, so that if there's damage to the roof, it's more visible. That's why they did popcorn ceilings, so they could hide more imperfections in the way the ceiling was finished. So you'd probably have like a wide metal putty knife and have that right up against the ceiling, and then slip a pry bar in between the putty knife and the trim itself. And so that when you flex the pry bar, the wide putty knife would spread out, the potential for putting indentation in the ceiling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The tools together to do that. I think maybe you've seen me do that before. Anyway, so.
Okay. So I'm going to jump over here, 2 more photos. Okay, so we have the outside of the picture again. Okay, so here is another part of the living area, the other view. Now, I like the bay window here. I'm not really sure what I would do with this if I would create a whole shelving under here or just leave it open like this. Not too sure. I know I would have some plants going on here. I do like this archway over the dividing the room. I do like that simply because it just gives the home a little bit more character. And there's not much of a foyer, but I would take up the carpet. It's okay. I would create just a little landing space over here just to give the room some separation from the front door. So when you walk in, you're just not stepping into the home like, boom, here I am. So you can do this with different decor, planting pots or whatever. So there's that, and then of course, you know, taking down the popcorn ceiling and painting the walls to make it a little bit more crisp. I think I would change the front door as well. I would repurpose this front door because you have this row of windows here, and just to give balance to the wall with lighting, I would want some type of door that has decorative glass.
Door that has what?
Decorative glass.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that would look good.
Mm-hmm. Anything you'd like to add?
I may cheap out a little bit on replacing the door and just clean and repaint the existing front door, but that's generally my trend anyway. And we both, you know, readily acknowledge the need for repairs in the ceiling. And God help me, what in the heck is hanging out of that hole on the right side? Because maybe they made a hole there for a vent, but you know, you can see the floor vents for their HVAC. Is that some pink insulation that's hanging out of there in that hole that they made, do you think? So more exploration, more investigation. Got to solve that. Got to figure out what's going on and then remedy it, fix it, what have you. Paint the walls, pull the carpet. Let's see what's underneath and go from there.
Right. Okay, moving on. Okay, this must be a breakfast nook. So there is a room dividing this front room and the kitchen, and this is what it is. So yeah, definitely this would be, still need a floor plan before I open my mouth and say that I would open it up. It just makes sense to me. I know this was popular in the 80s to have a breakfast nook in some parts of the region. I find it as wasted space. This is the square footage on this home is how much?
It's a 1456, just under 1,500 square feet.
Okay, so that's a decent size.
It's a decent sized single family home.
Yeah, that's a decent sized single family home. So I would repurpose this room and make it functional versus a room with just a table in it that you might sit in it once or twice a day. And here's another view of that same room. You have any comments?
I do, because it's bugging the heck out of me. Why is this light not centered in the room? Maybe it's centered lengthwise and not widthwise, but you know, it's really apparent in this photo.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm getting a dining room vibe from the room. Yeah, it's more common now for, you know, the open floor plan, so that, you know, the living room flows into the dining area, that flows into the kitchen, which this is, you know, it's those boxes are not checked here. Anyway, so that's all I've got to say about this space. So.
Okay. All right. We have the. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in this next room. Maybe we'll have a clean picture on it, but I don't have anything else to say about. Okay, so this looks like a completely different room. Not too sure if it's a bedroom. Let's move on. Can't really tell if this is.
I guess bedroom too.
Okay, so we're gonna say that this is a bedroom. It just needs to be, just needs some loving. That's what it needs. Needs a woman's touch. Make it comfortable. Nice size windows. Okay. All right. So this must be part of the
master bedroom.
Yeah, master bath off of this bedroom here. Both of them need some work. I say take it down to studs and just start over.
I see the door, leaned up against the door opening, but you see how it's not attached.
Yeah, yeah. I would be worried about the structure, especially in a room that receives so much moisture. And from all of the pictures that we've seen with the AC units in there, my thing is I have to take down the walls just to make sure that there wasn't mold behind these walls, because obviously there's an issue with the central HVAC system. So that's why I said I would just take it down to the studs and start all over, because I would want fresh drywall up that I know is treated with today's to fit today's environmental purposes, versus hoping that it's safe, trying to cheap out and save money. But the price of the home makes it affordable to be able to do that, because you don't have a huge mortgage over your head to make any renovations. Any comments, Roger?
I think I already did with my comment about the door, and I'm fairly certain that this is a master bedroom because of the opening where we can see a bathroom. So that would be the master bath that goes with the master bedroom. I like the windows. You've commented on windows before in a room. This is more of the same. I don't think there's anybody out there that's looking to buy a house that's not aware. These days, you want to have energy efficient windows so that you're not losing your heating and your cooling out and around those windows. So these look original to the house. And one of the clues is, having the window air conditioners in different rooms of the house. A lot of cooling and a lot of heating's being lost due to the existing windows. And a room air conditioner or a window air conditioner is an inexpensive attempt at fixing that, but it doesn't really address that additional heating and cooling bill.
Yes, and humidity. Yeah,
that would be remedied by upgrading the windows. So
right, yeah.
That would have to be a very, if not done before moving in, then a high priority once you've moved in. And then just other than that, it's not pretty the way it looks. You need to get some trim around those windows after you've repainted the walls and the ceiling, and yeah. But anyway, that's just me. And we'll just extrapolate that I intend to do that on all windows, all walls in the house, because it looks like just about every one of them needs it.
Yeah.
Every one of them. So.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so here's another bedroom. Great sunlight.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Moving on. Double closet. Don't know which room this is, so I'm assuming that we're still on the master bedroom. Not really sure.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would just make one huge big closet.
Well, now you've got to think of the shoes.
Well, these days it's either
Shoes.
tennis shoes, sandals, and mud shoes. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, I just find this wasted space. With today's TVs, we no longer have a unit. We have flat screens. So to me, this is wasted space. It is just, what can you do with this? So I moved the electric and think of a way to make this a functional closet for two people or one, whatever your situation is. So, okay. That just about does it. I am going to go on Street View here to see what we have going on. And Roger, do you mind taking over while we Why we
Who, me?
on the neighbors. Yep.
Well, one of the things that occurred to me while we were looking at this is um, due to the age and the condition it's currently in, you're probably going to find yourself as a buyer doing a fair amount of trim replacement, trimming out windows, getting baseboards down there. There are times and situations where you can remove that sort of thing and reuse it. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you can. You know, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you're looking at, I don't know, how many rooms is that typically? 8 rooms, 9 rooms, I'm not sure. I'm actually just guessing there. I'm not certain. But that's a lot of baseboards. That's a lot of trim around doors. That's a lot of window trim. Anyway, the long way I'm taking around to this is what I would love to do is whip out a track saw to cut those, so that instead of paying, you know, what big box stores charge for that sort of trim material, you can just buy the raw pine or raw poplar or whatever, you know, you're using, and use your track saw to give you some nice straight lines. Get your router out and put some shape to it, especially on baseboards, but trim too, to a degree, you know, round over, or just, you know, you can get all kinds of bits for a router that'll give you nice shapes for baseboards and that type of trim. And that'll allow you to replace stuff as needed without it being such an expensive undertaking. Because I am not kidding when I tell you how much I've spent on baseboards and trim around windows, trim around doors. It's kind of eye-popping when you're doing it. And that's not even, you know, talking about cabinetry, which I wouldn't be trying to build anyway. I would be letting a professional, you know, make the cabinets to be used in the bathrooms and the kitchens. But anyway, I think I kind of went off on a tangent here, Tagg. So thanks very much for being here and listening to our video. We hope that between the two of us, because we often have wildly divergent points of view on what to do with these homes, maybe one of our ideas or one or both of our differing ideas are helpful to whoever is finding themselves buying a home, and even if it's not one that we've reviewed, it's maybe there's an idea from one of our videos that you find helpful. And if that's the case, that would actually make me feel great, and I assume Tagg feels the same way. I mean, that's why we're here. It gets word spread out that even though the median cost of a home these days is prohibitively expensive, and a lot of people are thinking that they won't be able to buy a home. Well, you can buy a home for $50,000. That's relatively doable, and you can put some sweat equity into it to make it a home that you'll be comfortable living in. So thanks for your time, and best of luck to you. And I'll take you back to Tagg to close things out.
Okay. Whether you're dreaming of a DIY fixer-upper, growing your own food, or just looking for a place truly to call home, this channel is for everyday people chasing real freedom through affordable housing and homesteading. Like, subscribe, and stay in the loop to our channel. If you like, you know, doesn't cost you a thing. And if you have a property that you would like to share, we would love to help spread the word, because at the end of the day, it's about people helping people. We'll see you next week.
Love the house in today's video and want to take a closer look at it? No problem. The address is waiting for you in the notes below. And please keep your comments, ideas, and suggestions coming. A little about us. We're not realtors, we're not real estate pros, and we're definitely not house flippers. We're just two people who've bought, sold, and spruced up several homes over the past 20 years. Call it the School of Hard Knocks degree in home ownership. Typically, we live in a place for about 5 years before moving on to the next adventure. So if you're into real, no-nonsense home insights, you're in the right place. Hey, for sale by owner sellers, We know selling on your own can be a hassle, so let us help you get the word out. Drop your listing link in the comments and let's get some extra eyes on it. Oh, and a quick pro tip for sellers. Keep your exterior photos seasonally fresh. No one wants to see snow-covered rooftops in July. And happy selling.
The next time when you're on the hunt for a mortgage lender, don't overlook your local mortgage options. Skip those big box mortgage companies and their sneaky fees and go with someone that actually cares about you, not just your loan. It's all about people helping people and keeping money flowing right back into the community. Shop smart and stay local, and we'll catch you next week.